So we're in the South Waikato, a little place called Pokuru. We've got 230 hectares effective, and we'll be calving down 5-10 cows this year. Running a system 2 traditionally, we're dropping down to a 1. Therefore, we've dropped our cow numbers from 6 to 500 now. We've seen the farm system be more intensive than it is now and be reasonably productive, but in response to a number of factors, we're dropping down in intensity, down in system. Historically, we've always been looking for opportunities to adapt around what we need and what the markets and the industry is doing.
Carbon's been on our horizon for most of the last decade. We always have been thinking about it. We've always understood the science behind it and completely understand farming, particularly ruminant farming's role. And therefore we've always known that it's a consideration that we need to be thinking about whenever we're doing system changes. This latest significant change for us and a major destocking and change to the system in young stock on. As a result, we'll see in the models a significant drop in the amount of emissions coming out of the farm system. We didn't set out primarily to achieve this, but it was definitely one of the big things that we wanted to make sure that we were going in the correct direction in all our considerations. Look at the whole business and say, out of all of this, what's happening to the main contributors to emissions? Better use of nitrogen, all of our grazing and management systems to make sure that they're looking at ways of optimising the way that we actually manage the feed, and know your number.
So we've made the changes. How are we going to be able to use the modelling then to know these changes are actually creating the outputs that we want on all of the fronts of us and labour and costs, but particularly on our greenhouse gases?
No, good question. So I guess with the changes we've made big structural changes and bringing the young stock home. Moving forward, we'll just use FarmX if we want to try and refine it even further. Do we reduce it by changing the timing of our nitrogen applications? Are different feeds going to have a different impact on the greenhouse gases?
So if we look at the system in total with the dairy farm and the grazing associated with the young stock, greenhouse gas emissions have dropped about 17%. Now that's associated with a drop in total output from the farm and total profitability. The reduction in greenhouse gases cost about $65 a tonne of CO2, which is not far off the carbon price. So once the dairy farmers are exposed to the full cost of carbon, the changes that have been made here are going to be effectively cost neutral. System changes, they still need to accommodate the farmers' wishes and desires and ambitions first and foremost, but recognise that on most of the changes that we make on farm, there's usually an accompanying change in the greenhouse gas emission, and it's just being conscious of taking the time to understand which is going to be the best system change that will achieve your goals and desires, as well as meet some greenhouse gas reductions.